My mom says that I told her I wanted to be a dance teacher when I was 5. And
Wow.
she thought it was like just a thing kids say. But I've just always loved dancing, and more so I liked putting stuff on stage. So I always knew I wanted to be like on this side of it, like teaching and choreography, and teach all ages. So I teach little kids. I teach mommy and me, and I also do like dance privates with like small groups and stuff. I teach all the way from mommy and me all the way up through adults. And for adults, I do like adult ballet bar, adult yoga. So it's a lot of like basically everybody. As long as you want to dance, I'm there for it. For mommy and me classes, I really like to meet the families. It's so much more important that the mom is bonding with the child and the child is having fun. Like, there are things that need to be learned and obviously milestones that need to be met, but for the most part, like for that 45 minutes to an hour, for that child to be creating memories with their mother based on movement and music is really the main goal for me as an instructor. I feel like movement is so natural, so I like to let the kids lead. I like to just bring in, I have like all these instruments, I like to bring in instruments, I like to bring in a lot of play, a lot of creativity. So, anything that they can, take a photograph of a moment, a kid chasing a bubble, a kid under a parachute, that's really the goal for me, is that they walk away like, wow, that was such a great day with my kid. Joy is like the most important part of the class for me. We're all children of the world. So as a teacher, we're responsible as much as a parent is for how a child moves through the world. At the base of their learning, when they're as young as 2 or 3, we want to instill those important morals in them, to be kind, to share, to wait their turn. And even if their parents are teaching them those things at home, it might be important if they learn it with a rhyme or with a song or something like that. So I think it's important to not only start teaching it at that level, but to take it through their whole education. Which is why, when kids are 6 through 12, they're going across the floor when they're dancing in class. And maybe they think they have the best jeté, but every kid's jeté is important, and we all need to celebrate everyone's jeté. So to start teaching it when they're really, really little is best, I think. So in our classes typically set up, I like to start my classes in a circle because it brings me back to my theater, circle and round. So everything starts in a circle. We start usually with a group activity where we're doing some sort of icebreaker or mindfulness activity. And then we usually move into stretching across the floor, the combo for the day, reviewing skills, which could be turns, it could be jumps, something like that. And then we always end with like a game or a freeze dance, that sort of thing. And then if we need to, we come back to a mindfulness activity. I've been thinking a lot about the mental health of the kids, especially artists, especially for that older group, that 8 to 15 group, bringing in a lot more of like the yoga and the mindfulness where they can really speak about how they feel. Or for kids, it's really great for emotional control and just teaching them how to really like own their feelings and speak about them. Kids, it's really hard for them to tell you how they feel. Moving through it or breathing through it is a great way to kind of bring them down and bring them back. A lot of kids now are having a lot more anxiety than we did, how they're seeing things in the world, but also have it in an arts perspective. So definitely right now is the time for like taking that like contemporary mindful approach, and giving them the opportunity to really be coming inward before they're putting it outward. Competitive dance is great. We all love it. We love to see it. But it has to start with the inside work, I think, first. Last summer when I was teaching a class out in the Hamptons, I had a kid who was very attached to her teddy bear, which is why I have this one here. So normally I would try to say like, oh, could you leave the bear there while we dance? We put the bears down on the spots and we had the girls do jumps over the bears, but halfway through class, she really still wanted her bear. So you have to pivot. And so we did a whole part of class where we danced with our teddy bears. We did the teddy bear song. And, you just have to always be on your feet with kids and teach them that how they feel is also important. So for the next week at the end of class, I told the moms, oh, next week we're all going to bring our teddy bears back and we're going to continue that lesson so that kid also feels like they were highlighted. So for me, like, that's the thing about arts is that, like, they pull everybody out of their shell. They give everybody an opportunity to be the star. And that's what I love, that's what I love about doing it is that, I could have a kid that on day 1, barely said anything. And then by day 12, that's the person I want as the lead in my show.